if you're going to do plate playback, especially if they're plates that you shot, one way or the other, you should have somebody on set, a DIT, who knows color and who can export to Notch LC, because then there's at least some way that you can control what image goes on the wall. And even if the operator goes like, look, we can't apply LUTs, we don't know how to apply a LUT to the processor, we don't know how to do this, that, and whatever, they can take the footage and put it in. So it's like, look, don't do any of that. Here's the file you use. Let's go to the next example here. So this is a stitched file. Give me one sec. Let's see. So drivingplates.com, they're the ones who have the plates for the Magic Box that are playing. These are these plates as well. And my company, Lightsail VR, we have a partnership with them to do all the stitching for them, because that's one of the things that we do, and we do uniquely well. We just delivered a project for SeaWorld Abu Dhabi that's in 44K stitched. And it's basically, the LED wall is like as big as this entire warehouse around, and it's probably as tall. And so we're uniquely situated to stitch very, very high resolution footage. And again, we stitch this, that can be in log, and then you can completely control the color. I also just had these up as cards, because you can see that there's different ways of doing it, but in Assimilate it's very simple, just to create a layer, create a card, move it around, do whatever. You can tie this to OSC. You can tie this. You can sort of tie it to boards and whatnot and control this stuff. Some of that stuff is in beta, but it's obviously something that's very, very important. And then this is an example. I think if we can get I guess the feed's already up there over there, right? Yeah. So, and then Brian, you have the controls. Can you put that back to, is it at log? I can't really see it from here. Is the, what? Yeah, no worries, no worries. So should we open these doors? Let's see. So right now what I'm going to show is, let me actually close this. I'm going to open up Live Looks. So Live Looks is a different type of program that that basically allows you to do a few things. And there's Assimilate's working with Megapixel so that you can live grade the wall in real time. And right now we're very close. I think this week they're going to have that integration fully live. But in the meantime, what I can do, and let me just make sure I am connected to the servers here. I can do this real quick. 10.10.1.22, I believe. Great. Let's see, is this the right one? Yeah, cool. So this is the UI for the LED processor, and Jeremy from Megapixel is here, and he's going to show. He's going to be talking after lunch. You'll learn more about this as well. But to connect to this, all I have to do is be on the same network as the processors, and then I can connect and control things in the setting. There's lots of things you can do. You can directly enable the color settings, and you can actually grade, use the processor to grade the wall. Typically, that's not going to be the way that that it works. The virtual production supervisor is not going to want to hand over control to the actual Helios for you to mess with. There are a lot of really cool things. Their API is open, so you can, like our software, we're able to tie in, and you're able to give specific controls, so that in that example, you can just give the color controls to one person and they can't change the mapping of the LED tiles. It's very flexible in that way. But I'll let Jeremy talk more about that. What I'm going to show is, you can still see my whole screen, right? Yeah. So this, it would help if I turned up my brightness. Now I can see. Let me go back to color, and let me reset this. So, and let me go back to Megapixel, make sure this is all zeroed. Let me see, let me just disable that, right? I think we're back to log here. So, so what I can do is I can have my reference footage, and it looks better on my monitor than here, but I can have my reference footage, and again, I'm just connected through the Ethernet here, and I can I can do a grade from here. I can apply LUTs and other things as well, but I can say I want to, let's say I want to, crush the blacks a little bit, not that much, and we'll just do the world's most basic color grade here, and now I can export this as, oh yeah, that screen is You'll just have to trust me that my screen looks a little better than that. But what I can do here is I can export this LUT, if I can remember how to. There we go. And I'm going to put this on, let me put this on, where would it be easy to find this? I will just put it here. And I'm going to call this Red Rocks, yeah, this looks good. I'm going to do CDL and save. And now in Helios, I can actually load that LUT. And here's to hoping it works. Let's see. Where did I not save it in the right place? Of course. Let's see. Oh, that's it. I think that's an older one. I'm trying to do. I really am trying to do this live. I do have some loaded that I already did. I could always load those. But CDL, Red Rocks. All right. So let's see. There, did I just save it to my yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So, and what's cool about this though is that now I can have multiple LUTs. I can have different scenes. I can have different looks. I can have whatever. And we can just load those. And so you can go back to those. If you change to another setup and you go, you know, we need to go back to that other look, you can just load that setup. And it's not, well, not really. So let's see what happens when we do that. Let's see. Yeah. So it did some adjustments. When you do this live, once it's all set up, it's much easier because you just look at the volume and you go, okay, let me adjust this, adjust that. Like I said, it's probably a week out. With Brompton, we already have that capability. So if you have a Brompton processor, you can live grade already. And like I said, this week we'll be setting up for that. But it's important because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter what technically or if it's scientifically right or wrong. What does the director and DP want? Do they, and the production designer, like, what is the look they want? I don't care. They're not going to care if it's scientifically correct or not. It's going to be like, no, I want those blues to be more saturated. Okay, well, that's not correct. Well, okay, but I want them to be more saturated. Okay, let's do that. You should start from a base level of this is the color, this is correct. This camera is calibrated to this wall, other way around. This wall is calibrated to this camera. We know where we're starting from. We know that the color space is correct. That is where it should start. But even at that point, you should be able to come back to that point. But there's going to need to be made some sort of color adjustments for sure 100% of the times. And this is my opinion, but that's, I think, a pretty valid opinion. And I think that the on-set color is, again, my opinion, but I think it's one of the most important things that should be more on the filmmakers to decide and to help with, because you can't fix it as much in post, or you can't fix it at all in post. You have to capture it. You have to get it on the day. So yeah, anyway, that's more or less what I have to share. Let me see if I have any other things in my timeline here. No, I mean, I think we're good. Yeah, because my time's running out, so I just wanted to be, lunch is back there. I don't want to hold anyone from lunch. Any questions? Great.
Yep. Sorry, thanks again for answering all my questions today. Alex, brilliant, love this stuff. Show me something like really show me something like right now, like just on the wall that doesn't look like log. I know you applied something, but just show me like a linearized image from what you just did. And can you correct that to be a little bit less magenta?
The actual TV or the wall?
The camera, all of it.
Yeah.
So, and how tell me the relationship between these two, because it looks like you're getting footage. And by the way, is there a live input to this as well? If I have a Blackmagic or an AJA or something, can I input this live, look at it live with my DP, create that correction, output it, give it to the brain bar or the stage operators?
The short answer is yes. With Megapixel, that integration with Assimilate and Megapixel, that integration is finishing up this week. So you'll be able to just live color correct and do a lot of these things. It's also kind of in its infancy. Right now, we can send a CDL, but we can't send a full LUT. So we're kind of limited to what all we can do. but they are working on making it, a full 3D LUT, so you can do a lot more. You can much easily go, like, typically I might say, oh, I just want to make the blues more saturated, and I want to, it's much easier to do it with the full LUT. So that integration is, I'm not sure how far away, but it's in the works. With Brompton, you can do all that today. You can live grade it, and you can do a full 3D LUT. And yeah, I think that answers the question, right?
Yeah, we love Brompton. We're using Brompton a lot right now, but we see a lot of limitations with the other walls.
I think Brompton also has a Pomfort integration as well.
Yep. Version 2 is available. It's out now.
Yeah.
You can use it, plug it right in, or you can use the Brompton software if you have a PC.
Yeah, and you could. I mean, I think you could work with whatever software you like. You could press them to say, look, you need to integrate with Megapixel's API. These guys are just amazing they're very responsive. They're very quick to implement things. Their API is very well documented. It's open, right? It's open. So like, I think whatever software you're using, it really is not that difficult for them to implement it. You just have to find a way to make them implement it.
What's the going cost right now for this software, approximately?
So
for what you're showing us?
For Assimilate, they have a lot of different products. So the live color grade integration, I can't remember what it is, but it's not very expensive. It's $100 a month or something like that.
Subscription model.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm not the worst. Don't quote me on any of this. You can see the pricing right on their website. It's not like a hidden secret. You can see the pricing on the website. To do virtual production stuff where you're actually doing the wall or like green screen, there's a perpetual. There's different versions. There's monthly. There's 3 months, which is kind of like a project, and then there's a perpetual with support. But even the most expensive version, like the full studio, where you get all unlimited DMX universes and unlimited everything, the perpetual is still not like, it's nothing compared to some of the other servers. It's like 10,000 for the perpetual lifetime license, and support is like 1,000 a year or something.
So are you telling me that I can directly connect also to our lighting board operator with this tool? So I could be using this for color, and then a lighting board operator could be next to us making sure everything's accurate? Yes.
So the new version of LiveFX, it's very new, has this whole stage lights tab. And what's really cool about it is they have a built-in way specifically to work for the Mimic. It's like this was made for the Mimic, and then they also have DMX, other ways of doing DMX as well. The board integration, that's not really my world, and I know it's sort of in its infancy. There's ways you can get to it and from, but it's definitely a big priority of Assimilate right now. In fact, all the features they're implementing right now is really lighting based. It's all like, how do we make this more friendly for board operators? How do we connect to the boards? There's a lot of conversations with even some of the people in this room about, well, how do we do this? And so it's definitely a big priority of theirs. And I know they need the feedback, and they need people to say, this is great, but this is what I need. And so, yeah, I'm happy to chat more about it and connect you with the people at Assimilate. And they're also really great at support. Andy, I think that was really cool to hear that you guys have like 1 hour guaranteed support. I think that's insane. I think that's really, all these products really should have support like that. But I was going to say, with Assimilate, they're also really good with support. If you email them, they'll email you back. If you text them, they'll text you back. So that's one thing that I've always been really happy with them on.
Thanks, Alex. Marcus here again.
Yeah. Now he's going to really test my brains.
Great stuff. Can you talk a little bit how Assimilate scales across like multiple GPUs? Mm-hmm. If you have a really, really large video canvas and you run out of headroom or outputs on a single GPU?
Yeah, so right now they are working on a multi-node system where you can have multiple computers and it's synced and it plays across the multiple things. Right now, the only limitation really is it has to be in a Mosaic. So you can have a single machine with potentially 4 A6000s, and then you have for a 12, I guess 15, because you need one for the monitor. So you could, in theory, you could probably gang 15 monitors, put them in a Mosaic, and then play it back. And so it's I think personally, they do have a way of projection mapping. So you take your camera tracking data. You put it on the wall. They're sort of their own in-display. But my opinion right now is where it really shines in terms of if you're going to be projecting the walls is flat walls. And you can put as many walls as you want, but you can do it all on a single machine with multiple GPUs in NVIDIA Mosaic. So with my machine and my one A6000, I might need two, but I could do it. I could run this entire wall just from that one GPU. And I do want to test it. Brian and I are talking about how we test it, when do we test it. But I could play back all these videos separately right from inside of LiveFX. And it does sort of use the projection mapping, but you can just play it like this, where it's just a flat, distorted, undistorted video. And so this, I think, is also a great use case for Assimilate in terms of the projection. When it gets to big curved walls and stuff, it's like, I think there's better solutions in terms of the projection mapping. And I think the bigger thing, in my opinion, is that we would need people to really put it through its paces. I haven't certainly put it through its real paces on these crazy big walls. So now the color correction side of it, like for instance, Amazon uses 22 Bromptons. But we could, with this laptop, we can connect in and we could live grade all of them, very, very easily. So like on the color correction side, the live grading side, that you could do on any size wall, and it really doesn't matter. Yeah.
And one more question.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. So would you say it's safe to say that with LiveFX, we can control some DMX parameters through the LiveFX interface?
Yeah.
But where the work in progress is still the console control over, it has not 100% patchable yet. But hopefully that's coming soon. Yeah,
I think you could probably do it through OSC right now, but personally I don't know. I think it sounds like that might be painful. So I know that they are working on it heavily. It's been one of the features that I've been least involved in, at least in the last 2 months, and they've come a long way in the last 2 months. So. There's a lot of people who are chiming in, and these are the things that are important. And some people are like, hey, the color space per fixture is the most important thing, and so those get implemented. And then it's like, well, no, actually, the board is the most important thing. And so I don't know exactly how. In fact, I might be able to look through here to see what we have now. They have SAC and ArtNet and other protocols, but the short answer is I'm not sure how far along they are on the board side.
Cool. Thanks.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for this presentation.